Is Rachel Amber a Cancer or a Leo? I figured since it's Cancer season, this is a perfect time to talk about this topic because it is heavily debated in the Life is Strange community. So obviously we know in Before the Storm, Rachel says, I'm a Leo. But a lot of people feel that she is a Cancer because her birthday still falls under the Cancer zodiac being July 22nd. But the first indicator, besides her saying that she's a Leo, is the note that she wrote to Frank in Life is Strange. She writes, I'm a Leo. But if we want to be technical, she's a cusper. And cuspers are born between the 3 days where the zodiacs change. And typically these types of people exhibit traits of both signs. But they heavily identify with one more than the other. Now in Before the Storm, you do find this in Rachel's room, the cusp of oscillation, which means she was born on the cusp of Cancer and Leo. And you can see some of the strengths are creative, passionate, loving, devoted, diplomatic. They are also natural born leaders, but their weaknesses are self-centered, volatile, possessive, and dramatic, which is on brand for Rachel Amber. But for anybody who does know things about zodiacs, you can clearly tell that Rachel does not really identify with a Cancer. Now, if we want to be literal, Before the Storm is really heavily centered around the fire element. And what do Leos represent? Fire. There are many instances in Before the Storm where you see Rachel catching fire or she is around fire or something is being talked about, but it is heavily implied that Rachel is being talked about, like this conversation with William. Fire is jealous. It wants all the beauty for itself, aka Rachel. On top of that, one of the weaknesses is dramatic. And Leos love being the center of attention, aka why she is the lead in the school play. Cancers aren't really like that. But Cancers are very empathetic and they do feel their emotions very deeply, especially when it comes to home and family, aka when Rachel felt betrayed and the trust was broken between her dad. But Leos are also very outgoing, very outspoken, and they can befriend anybody. Cancers are a bit more in their shell, like the crab. They take longer to form those bonds with people. Now, I do think that Rachel does have Cancer traits, but if we do a comparison side by side, she has way more Leo traits than she does Cancer. And I think that anybody that is into astrology would agree with that, especially with all the context clues and the things that they put in your face in both games. I think it's no question that Rachel Amber is a Leo. You're just so drawn to her fiery personality. But I don't know, if you guys disagree and think that she leans more towards Cancer, tell me why. But tell me in the comments.